Okay. Greeting and salutation to Madam Azani. My name is Muhammad Shazad Badri bin Boni, and this is my fellow friend.
And my name is Amirul Khairul Jaimi.
Hi, my name is Norman Lawai.
And my name is Alan Leo juga Analibin.
And we from program DIK. In the next minute, we will sharing on how to solve this question on the assignment that has been given to our team. First thing first, I'll explain what this is all about. Matrices are fundamental mathematical objects used to represent and manipulate data in various fields such as mathematics, computer science, physics, and engineering. They provide a consistent and organized way of organizing and performing operations on sets of numbers. In this introduction, we will explore the definition, dimension, elements, and properties of matrices.
Furthermore, a matrix is defined as a rectangular array of numbers, symbols, or expressions arranged in rows and columns. It is typically denoted by a capital letter and defined by its dimensions, like the number of rows and columns. The entries of a matrix can be real numbers, complex numbers, or even variables.
Next, the dimension or order of matrix is determined by the number of rows and columns it possesses. A matrix with m and n columns is said to have dimension m times n. The number of rows is often referred to as the height or row dimension, while the number of columns is known as the width or column dimension. Column.
Then each entry in a matrix is called an element. The elements are represented by their position within the matrix using indices. The standard notation for referring to the element in the ith row and jth column of matrix A is A, I, or J. The element A, I, or J is located at the intersection of the ith row and jth column.
Let's start off with the first questions. The table below split into three sections. There is type of exercise books, purchase quantity, and price per book. In order to understand the question, we must read and understand the question that is given here. It is given that purchase quantity of thick books is 4 more than purchase quantity of thin exercise book. The total payment of the exercise books purchased is 26 ringgit. Let's jump off to the first question, A1. The reason x minus y equal to 4 because x represent thick books and y represent thin books. Because the question already stated that quantity of thick books is 4 more than purchased quantity of thin exercise books. And now we put 2.50 x plus 0.70 y equal to 26 because the question already betul agak. And if you look at the table, x price per book is 2 ringgit and 50 cents and y is 70 cents. And the question already stated the total payment of exercise books purchased is 26 ringgit. So if you put it together, so it becomes 2 linear equations in terms of x and y. Now we take a look at question A2. Hence by using Cramer rules method. Now if we take a look at question 1, there are 2 linear equations. We arrange it into a matrix form. And we label the matrix form into A, B, C, D, and 1. 2.50 for x, negative 1, 0.70 for y. Now we need to find the determinant. First thing first, we need to find the delta. The formula for delta is A times D minus B times C. And this is the calculation and answer for the delta. For delta x, we need to replace the x into the total of the books. The formula is the same as the delta before. A times D minus C times B. And there you will get the result. For delta y, we need to replace the y into the total of the books. The formula is A times D minus B times C. And there we get the result and calculation for delta y. After we got the delta x and delta y, here we can find the x and y. First thing first, we take the delta x, divide by delta, and we also will get the calculation and answer for x. Same goes to y. We take the delta y and divide by delta. We also will get the calculation and result for y.
And now let's jump into the next question with me, which is question B. Please fasten your seatbelt and sit tight. In this question, there are three given linear equations and we must solve it by using equation method. We start off with the matrix form. And here, as you can see, this is the matrix form for the linear equation. Now, let me explain on how to arrange the equation into matrix form. First, we need to isolate numbers and the alphabets. The first column in the first matrix form represents x, and the second one in the column represents y, and the third column represents z. For the second box, we need to put only the numbers, and on the third matrix box, we put the unknown. Please take note that for the first matrix box, each unknown that doesn't contain any numbers in front of it, we recognize it as 1 or negative 1 if there is negative in front of the unknown. Muy bueno! After we found the matrix form, now we need to find the determinant. Let me explain on how to find the determinant by using inversion method. Modulus formula for the first matrix form is plus, the second is minus, and the third is plus again. For the first box, it contains 3, negative 6, negative 1, 3. The second box, it contains 8, negative 6, negative 4, and 3. And on the last box or the third box, it contains 8, 3, negative 4, and negative 1. And here is the calculation of the final answer. This is how we get the number for each boxes. To find the answer for each box, we need to use the formula A times D minus B times C. After finding the determinant, now we have to find the cofactor. The formula for cofactor is plus minus plus for the first line. And then minus plus minus for the second line. And plus minus plus for the third line, which is the last line on the matrix box. To find the answer for each box, we need to use the formula A times D minus B times C. And now, this is the full calculation and the final answer for cofactor.
To find adjoint, we get the answer from cofactor, but the row and column is inverted. the first row become the first column and the first column become the first row, and so goes on for the second and third column for each row and column. Now we need to find the A inverse, and here is the formula. The determinant is -1 and the adjoint is this, and the AX is this. After we arrange all the information within the formula, now the adjoint needs to be multiplied by AX. And this is what we got. After that, we need to solve each row by adding and subtracting its number in line, and now this is what we got. Now for the last step, we need to multiply this. Now we found the answer for x, y, and z.
In the last question, I'm going to prove the following law of matrices, which is A times A inverse equal to A inverse times A equal to identity. In matrix form. Matrix form is ABCD that is inside the box. You can put any numbers that you like, such as 1, 2, 3, 4 or 2, 4, 6, 8, but I'm going to use number 1470. Second is the inverse. The formula that we'll be using is 1 per with A times D minus B times C and followed by a matrix form, which is ABCD. For the second step, because of the inverse method, the numbers in matrix form should change positions. From A to D, that is 1 to 0, and followed by minus B and minus C, which is minus 4 and minus 7, because of inverse method. Third step is using the formula 1 per AD minus BC, that is 0 times 1 minus 0, 4 times minus 7 and followed by matrix form. Then we should get 1 per negative 28. After that, multiply 1 per negative 28 with matrix form, which is A is 0, B minus, oh my god. So the final answer of A inverse will be 0 for A, 1 per 7 for B, 1 per 4 for C, and negative 1 per negative 28.
Bruh.
Oh, wow. So, the final answer of A inverse will be 0 for A, 1 per 7 for B, 1 per 4 for C, and negative 1 per 28 for D. In the second slide, A will multiply with A inverse. The rows will times with column, which is 1 times with 0 plus 4 times with 1 per 4 and also 1 times with 1 per 7 plus 4 times negative 1 per 28, followed by second rows, that is 7 times 0 plus 0 times 1 per 4 and 7 times 1 per 7 plus 0 times negative 1 per 28. The answer should be 1 is A, B is 0, C is 0, and D is 1. In the third slide, it still uses the same method, just change the position of A and A inverse. It will get the same result like previous slide. Based on the evidence presented, it could be concluded that the law of matrices that has been given in the question is proven to be factually correct. Before we end our presentation, today we would like to thank our lecturer, Madam Azani binti Utama, for the guidance and the patience that have been given to us. That's all from us for today. Thank
you,
very
Madam.
much.
Madam, makan lebih, madam, please. Please, madam, please.
Okay.
Siap, Patrick.
Faham benda buat orang.